and dies. My frame rise up to the sunrise. Brand new day, new chance, some say. If I can make a difference in this world, then I make it. So I must, so I trust. And my lyrics just push into this new day. Like I was busting the night. Who feels so good, positive, I'm on the own. Just got on the radio, it's a positive mood. It's something like just a perfect mood. Sonic waves glaze for days in the sunlight haze. I feel good to be alive. All this shit that we be driving doing, I still survive. It ain't all complicated. I'm glad I found you.
That is right. That is right. We are live back on SR129thegame.com, Coastal Sports Network, Southwest Florida's newest game in town. It's Ain't That Right. I'm your host, the Duncan Dad. Still got some construction going on in the background, but that's all right because we're making improvements, people. We're making improvements. And guess who made an improvement last night in overtime? Your Edmonton Oilers come back from a little deficit at the start of the game. Their two superheroes, Draisaitl and McDavid, connect late in the overtime period to get the win. Game one, Edmonton leads. And you could tell from the beginning, made a comment while we were watching the game, and the national anthem, there's just something about it. You can sing it, you can shout it, and then it can be embodied by everyone there, and that just takes it to another level. And I want to believe that was part and parcel of the reason why Edmonton didn't fold when they went down. They came out a minute and 6 seconds into the game. Draisaitl gets his first goal, 1-0, placed his rock, and shortly thereafter, Florida hangs 2 on the board. Bennett had a great game, but Edmonton didn't crumble under it. Right? Last year, they kind of got smacked in the face by Florida. No overtime games last year. Fought back hard, came back, forced a Game 7, but you could tell when you kind of get rattled, it's not about, how hard you got hit, right, Rocky? It's about if you're going to get up. And from the beginning, the tone was just set. And the comment I made was, you know what? Like this team is dialed in. Fans are dialed in. The team is dialed in. And if there was ever a question about a home ice advantage or if the home ice mattered, it set the tone last night. It completely set the tone last night. And we see this many times in football, American football. We see this a lot of times in international football. But hockey is a very special engagement, especially when you're playing these 7-game series. And just kudos and shout out to everyone up there in Canada. And it's been a long time coming. 1993, the last time that Canada has won a Stanley Cup. And you're 3 wins away. And there are 3 really big wins and really big games coming up. Spacing out these games for the finals, which is nice. A little bit of breather in between. And I was never a big proponent of guys having the series like really, really drawn out because you're like, come on. Like it's kind of getting boring. But at this point, where you're playing for the championship, you really do want everyone to be at the top of their game if possible. And those extra days of rest afford that not only to the fan, but to the players as well. Now, old school's like, well, it's just a war of attrition. You got to bite through. You got to be able to show up. We're going to go back to back. We're going to go, 2 games in 3 nights. That's fine. But if I could get the premium productivity out of my players, and shout out to Ekman for coming back. I mean, like, huge addition to that Oilers team. Had a goal last night, Ekman. They lost Hyman. Ekman came back. Really, really big deal. People say, well, it's not that big of a deal. It is. It is a big deal because you have a little bit of a letdown, but you're gaining someone back, someone that you don't have to worry about, you don't have to think about, you don't have to coach up. Been there before. Just really, really decent all around. And Florida's a great team. I mean, Bobrovsky's, all over the place. Marchand and Tkachuk and Bennett and Barkov. I mean, we have a nice heavyweight final for the first time in a long time where you have 2 teams at the top of their game really, really going at it. And it's a pleasure to watch for sports, because on the other side of the equation, in Indianapolis, Indiana, and out there in Oklahoma City, you have the NBA Finals. And let's be honest, we want it to be good. It kicks off this evening, but it just doesn't have the same juice and jazz as the Stanley Cup Finals. We talked about on the Upper Bowl podcast. We talked about on No Filter Net. Just sometimes you need the juice, right? You need more than just, oh, well, here's the league's MVP and here's Halliburton. And just, what's Halliburton's dad going to do? The anchor of the team. And this isn't any shade towards Indianapolis, any shade towards Oklahoma City. It's just that when you poll the audience, and if you say New York, LA, Boston, Dallas, Chicago, you're going to tick down the list before you get to, Oklahoma City? Oh, all right. Indianapolis? Oh, okay. No shade. No shade. It's just, that's why you have the Big Apple. That's why you have Hollywood. Right? That's why you have the Metroplex in Dallas. That's why you have Miami Beach. It's appealing to people, and it's appealing to more people than just the diehard fan. And as a business, that's where the draw has to come from. That's why you see a lot of these small local area and regional networks kind of going defunct, because they can't really maintain what these anchor markets are doing. So you see games going to Apple, you see games going to Amazon, you see games going to Paramount and Peacock and, all over the place. YouTube TV. Great, we love it. But as we evolve, as we grow, as we change, as we keep our priority practices and our core principles, you're knocking down these barriers. And I was making comments saying, it's going to be a pain in the butt, man. I don't want to go have like 8 million other subscriptions and have to pay for another phone or another subscription to watch ball games that I want to watch. And how soon is it going to happen that they're going to pass along that cost to the consumer? Right? I know we're talking a little off-topic-y business today, but these are some of the verticals that happen when you make changes in your life, make changes in your priorities, make changes in your renovation. There's costs associated with it, right? There's cost of relationship, there's cost of time, there's cost of effort, there's cost and resources. And a lot of times we're just so amenable to the change that it just comes along with it. It just comes along with it. It just comes along with it. Okay, we get that it comes along with it, but how do we tackle it? How do we go about it? How do we bring it to someone's attention? How do we incorporate it into our daily life in order to meet this new need, this new compromise, this new avenue that's demanding a resource from us? What's going to go on the back burner? Or am I just going to keep trying to juggle and juggle and juggle and juggle? And eventually, one of those balls is going to fall down. Right? Balance, patience, prudence, temperance, all that stuff comes into play. You want to go forward, you want to do something, that's great, but doors are shut and it's going to cost. You're not going to make money without spending money. You're not going to grow without investing a resource financially, emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually. There has to be a conscious decision and conscious investment and constant investment. It just has to happen that way. If not, what happens? You spin your tires. You take, shout out to Paul Abdul, 2 steps forward, 2 steps back. MC Scat Cat, right? We love you. Great little video back in the 80s, sort of like the first one with cartoon animation and the singer together. It's kind of neat. Check it out. Fast fact, I think the first vinyl I ever bought solo, I think it was a Paula Abdul album back in the 80s. She'd just come off of the whole Laker girl kind of thing. So it was kind of cool. It was kind of cool, right? Into Duncan's mind here for a minute. Coming up, speaking of Duncan, tomorrow, be remiss not to say it, is National Donut Day. That's right, I'm going to say it again, National Donut Day. Listen, I'm an equal opportunity donut lover. I think everyone should. Bakery donuts for the money are probably the best that you can get. No shade towards Duncan, I love you, but your donuts, not the kind of quality that you get at the beignet store. It's just not. Anyway, go ahead and look around. Any place you kind of have a pastry, They're going to jump on that train, just like when it's National Coffee Day. Everybody jumps on board because some kind of discount. Krispy Kreme does something. Dunkin' does something. I'm sure Starbucks will do something because they want to throw their hat in the ring, make some money, take some of the ducats from you. But great way to kick off the weekend. Great way to kick off the weekend. First weekend in June. National Donut Day. That's my PSA for donuts. Dunkin', come this way. Let's go. We got all the merch in the back. Send over the boxes of donuts. We'll eat them live. We'll give live reviews. Bring some guests on. Have them give us their favorites as well. Maybe we'll put a poll up on the old X stream here and on Instagram. We'll see like what we prefer for donuts. We'll recap on Tuesday when we all come back. So as we head into the weekend, we're looking forward to Stanley Cup Finals, NBA Finals. Baseball has a couple big series coming around. Phillies Pirates and Phillies Cubs is coming up, which is going to be nice. Good gauge for both Philadelphia and Chicago. Two of the top tier teams at the moment in Major League Baseball. Lots of love to Detroit. The Tigers are playing extremely well. Also, we have the RBC Canadian Open. Everybody remembers many years ago. I think it's like 25 years ago. Waite versus Woods in the final all the way to the last hole. Tiger had a shot up into the sand, and he chips out, and he, birdies in from 2 feet away, and wins whatever. And they were talking about what kind of shots you go after. And it's nice to be able to reminisce and look back and appreciate the excellence that came before, and appreciate how we had to live in those moments because of the speed that we exist in nowadays. Sometimes we don't take our breath. We don't sit there and say, hey, let me take this all in. Let me enjoy this. Let me actually mark my journey. Little progress, little victories. I've said before on this program, it's always difficult for me to celebrate the little victories. Why is it a little victory? Celebrate the little victories. I'm like, I'm going to get to the end. Let's celebrate the big thing. Let's focus on the goal. But the goal is actually all these little victories adding up. The parts where it's like, I need to reconfigure, need to readdress. Okay, we corrected. Let's attack this again in a new way. And it is difficult sometimes for us to not be fixated on here's the means, here's the goal. Take me straight to the end. We get fascinated with the carrot at the end of the stick, not knowing that we're walking over so many things. The proverbial difficulties in life, the proverbial joys in the journey. And sometimes you got to look down, right? My, top 5 quotes of all time is from Ferris Bueller. Life's pretty short. You don't stop and look around once in a while. You might miss it. And it resonates with you because we're so hurried. We're so busy. So I'm guessing everyone is wrapping up the school year. I'm guessing everyone is sort of getting ready to end the fiscal year as it starts to kick over. Slow down. Take a minute. Just had a holiday weekend. We're getting ready to get into the dog days of summer if you're in the Northern Hemisphere. You need that pause, right? Sometimes you need the pause in your own journey to sort of do a little inventory. Nothing crazy, because we're 6 months into the new year, right? Just kind of do a check and be like, all right, I'm going to start this new year, and I want it to be a little more healthy. I want it to be a little better with staying on top of my bills. I want to be a little better reaching out to people. I want to be a little better friend. Be a little better to myself. Like, where you at, man? Where you at? You being better? Or you have one of those, that night. Oh, that afternoon. Oh, that didn't work out too well. If you got more of them, might want to take a timeout. Take a 30. Phil's whistling on the sideline there. He's like, come on, let's go. Give me 30. And let's take 30 seconds. Doesn't mean anything special. Nothing crazy. I'm going to go nuts. Don't got to go crazy. And just be like, all right. I can turn this around. Just the other day, June 2nd, I think it was, 2nd or 3rd. That was halfway through the year. Like straight up halfway through the year. Okay. You're 50% through this calendar year. People are like, oh, well, Dunk, can't manage that. You talk about time and it doesn't apply to everyone and everybody moves at a different pace. Right, exactly. So in your own world, in your own pace, in your own estimation, being completely honest with yourself, which goes back to our conversation the other day. Where you at? Like, where you at, man? Where you at? Let's sit for a second. You don't gotta like go crazy with it. You don't gotta scream. You listen to the pod. You're driving in the car. You're sitting at home. You're like, I'm right here. What's up? Turn it up, showing out. Okay, and if you are, that's great. How are you gonna maintain that? How are you gonna keep being consistent? Are you enjoying all of the little gains, all of the little journeys, all of the little victories? You know, they started out really good, kind of got rough, recentered myself, finished strong. Right? Always some kind of affirmation, some kind of appreciation, some kind of thanksgiving in any way that you do it, any way that you choose to display it, act it out, live it, want it, say it, say it. Make it part of your day. You know, even if you have to force yourself. I know sometimes people are like, how do you do that? How do I get like that without being disingenuous? Because then I sound like a hypocrite or a Pharisee or, someone just blow my own horn, and I don't want to do that. Well, you got to fake it till you make it sometimes, man. Right? You got to convince yourself. Convince yourself. Especially when it's difficult to be someone who is able to accept things for themselves. I'm a good person. Are you a good person? Yeah, I'm a good person. Okay, well then be happy that you're a good person. Celebrate that for yourself that you're a good person. Or you're not a good person. You're saying you are, but you're not. Your mouth is doing one thing, your body's doing another, or vice versa. Right? Because a lot of people do some things that are good in nature, but the motivation behind it, they got some effed up motivation. You all know it. Everyone's heard it. Everyone's seen it. You've all probably been part of it at some point. I have. People get selfish. It happens. Course correct. Transparency. Open communication. And you got to live with the fact that just because you course correct, just because the fact that you decide to be honest, just because the fact that you decide to be a certain way, that doesn't mean that's going to resonate with someone else that expects you to be another way that they perceived you to be. Remember we talked about the reunions. Oh, that's who that is. That's what they are. That's what they're about. Oh, did you correct yourself? Oh, did you grow up? Did you mature? Oh, congratulations. Good for you. You got to prove it every single day, not only to everyone else, but to yourself. Got to prove it to yourself. I want to get better. I want to improve my game. Stop talking and just go ahead and do it. You might talk to yourself, your little internal monologue. Shout out to Austin Powers, right? I'm having problems controlling the volume of my voice. That's for way, way back people. But you need to. You need to be having these internal conversations with yourself. This doesn't mean you walk around schizo all day. And if you have that issue, then there are programs out there to settle you down, to treat anxiety, to treat depression. We all battle it. Sometimes we joke about and make fun about those things, and we make light of it because it is a difficult subject to breach. But the resources are there. They are available. Sometimes you're not the person to take the first step. Sometimes it's other people, caring, considerate, loving people in your life that make that first step for you because you're too apprehensive to do it because of fear, because of esteem issues, because of pride, hubris. And other times, the third party makes the decision for you. And at that point, well, you're going to have your come to Jesus moment, and it's going to be figured out whether you like it or not. The point being is that you constantly keeping a little check. You're growing, you're moving, you're evolving, you're building, you're rebuilding, you're tearing down. you're remodeling. You're never going to pass the same place in the exact same instance twice. Right? They always talk about the river, right? You go to the river, you can go to the same place in the river, it will never be the same water. I've gone over the bridges around here, around this country, hundreds, thousands of times. It has never been the same river. Same place, not the same river. What does that mean? It means every time that you approach someone, every time that you come in contact with someone, you may have a lot of similarities in circumstances. You may have a lot of similarities in personality, people. You may have a lot of similarities in what's going on and what's happening. But it's never the same as the encounter prior. And it won't be the same as the encounter afterwards. Which is why, here's the big word, kids, consistency is important. Because every time you go to the gym, you can do the same exercise at the gym 5 days in a row. It will be a hell of a lot different on day 1 than it is on day 5. And on day 5, it'll be a hell of a lot different than it is on day 55. And so on and so on and so on. Why? Because things are going to move. Things are going to change. The exercise didn't change. The equipment didn't change. The weight may have changed. But it's a consistent effort. And when you get complacent in that consistency, what happens? Let's go back to last Tuesday. Things start to fall down, and then you scramble and you have to give too much attention to one particular area because you've allowed things to sort of disintegrate a little bit and sort of hold their own without going in and sharpening that knife. Keep going to the tool, eventually that tool is not going to work. Well, what do you mean? It always can work. Yes, it will quote unquote work, but the effectiveness of it is not going to be the same. And then to make that effective, what do you have to do? You got to hone it. You got to grind it. And that takes effort. That takes resources. It takes availability. It takes time. So we're halfway through the year. What have you done with your time? Take out all the extra things that you have to do on the daily that just sustain you, right? Like hopefully we have these priority practices in place, right? And these are the good things that keep us afloat. Hopefully there's a school, there's a career, there's a job, there's a livelihood, there's a relationship, there's something that's anchoring you. First and foremost, your relationship with yourself, others, and a higher power. Now that you have that settled, okay, I'm in a position where I want to be at work. I have the job that's consistent. I know it affords me X, Y, and Z. It gives me the time to do A, B, C. Okay, this area over here, what's happened? Because I guarantee someone has been born, someone has passed away, someone has gotten divorced, someone's got married, someone's moved away, someone's changed a job, someone's been injured, someone has come up with some kind of legal issue or a criminal issue or a financial issue. These are all little things that happen to each and every one of us. How you handling it? How you addressing it? And those are outside factors. Because if we're having this conversation, you're listening to me, we're talking about it, you're dealing with that stuff yourself. And again, you're meeting these moments in the present, not 4 or 5 years ago, not 4 or 5 years in the future. Right now, you're meeting it. So how are we addressing it? How are we handling it? How are you handling it? How are you processing it? Maybe switch something up. Maybe this thing happened. It's a really happy thing. And our prescription every time that something really good and something really momentous happens, we all get together and we all go hang out, tie one on. But man, I wake up on Sunday morning and I'm $300 lighter in the bank account. I'm feeling all kind of hungover and awful. Maybe that's not the way I need to be celebrating something. On the other side, something bad's happening. You do the same thing. or you close yourself off. You don't open up, and you spiral, and you start to think, and you get in your own head, and you get in your own way. And next thing you know, you wake up and you're like, no one's talking to me. Where's everyone at? Well, your behavior just pushed everybody away, you idiot. But it's on them. They should reach out to me. They should care about me. They tried. They were doing that. But you didn't see the life preserver. You didn't see the olive branch. You didn't see their hand because your pride and your hubris got in your own way. Your anger, your emotions, you were blinded by vices. Or maybe you've had a really good half year. You're working hard, you're staying consistent, you're being a good friend, you're being a good partner, you're being a good son, daughter, mother, brother, cousin, aunt, sister, uncle, whatever it is. You're staying hold to your priority practices. You're educating yourself every day. You're taking a little bit of inventory. You're being affirmative. You're being appreciative. You're being grateful. You can turn corners real quick. Here's the difference. You turn a corner in a bad way, you go down the hill, right? And gravity is going to work when you go down the wrong way, right? Things are never looking down. Things are looking up. And what's the difference between looking down and looking up? Looking down, it's easy. You just drop your head. Things are going down, boom, that's easy. It falls into place. It happens. It drops. It rolls. Minimal effort to go down. It might take a lot of decisions and a lot of compromises of your own behavior, right? It may be a lot of compromising of your intuitions. However, when that corner turns and you are on the downslope, and we associate down battery power, we're down on fuel, we're down on food, we're down on money as a deficiency, as something negative, right? You don't want to go down, you want to go up. You don't live in a basement, you want to live in a penthouse. Okay. So going down is easy. Going up is difficult. It's hard. You can turn the corner and decide to pull yourself up by your bootstraps, make a better life for yourself, make better decisions. But it's hard because it takes a conscious effort for you to do that, to engage, to do all of the hard things to get you up that hill. Not easy climbing up a hill, man, right? It takes a little bit of effort to go up that hill. Right? There's a little bit of muscle fatigue. There's sweat equity. You got to put the right things in to get the right things out. You got to study. You got to wake up early. You got to not eat certain foods, not drink certain things, not smoke certain things. Trying to be better. You got to reach out. Got to be the bigger person. Going up is exponentially better, exponentially rewarding. Comes with way more benefits across the board. But the journey is like the crucible. You gotta be tested in the fire, man. Right? It's gotta be burned. It's gotta be fortified. It's gotta be strengthened. It doesn't just happen overnight. But you made a bad decision overnight and your life could change instantaneously. Instantaneously. Been there, done that. Speaking for everyone. But the one things that we look back on and we see that we're proud of, we enjoy, we relish that emotion. Some things that you put effort into. Think about you and a kid, you made a little project doing something silly, but popsicle sticks. It was hard. Or build Legos. Or drew something with crayons, colored something with markers. Tons of effort. When it got done, man, it was amazing. So proud of it. You loved it. But then if you were frustrated, you get upset at somebody around you had sibling rivalry, you took it and smashed it because of pride, hubris, anger, emotion, whatever you want to call it. Now, you have all these pieces everywhere. Oh, I want to put it back together. I want to put it back together. I'm sorry. Now you got to go and gather all the pieces. Some of those pieces are broken. Maybe some of the pieces are lost. Some of the pieces are not going to go back the same way. So it has to be filled in. Might not be the same. That's going to take a lot more effort to do 2 times the work, 3 times the work to get back to that starting point again. And that's the catch, right? You're right back at that starting point again. You want to be in a position where you sort of level up. You work more, you level up again, so that if there is a snafu, if there is something that comes up, you're not falling all the way down the ladder. You're not falling all the way down the hill. You may, and you may start a little higher on the ladder, a little higher on the hill, depending upon what you've done or the relationships that you've built. And that's why it's important to have these practices, to be consistent. Getting knocked down sucks. But the majority of the time, when we're knocked down, again, Murphy button, right? It's because of things that we've done to ourselves, or it's positions that we've put ourselves into, because in the moment, at the time, it seemed as if it was harmless, or it would never snowball into this, right? Anytime I've learned that you have to convince yourself that a situation is not going to turn into something, it will probably turn into something. It's okay, we'll go hang out, it's fine, we're only leaving at 1:45 in the morning, nothing bad is going to happen, blah, 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 blah. Next thing you know, fill in the blanks. Right? Like, we used to joke, and we used to giggle to ourselves when we used to hear Tony Kornheiser say, nothing bad ever happens outside of the library at 2 a.m. in the morning, but the strip club. And you're like, you're right. And the metaphor is that you're putting yourselves in position and in certain environments, and it yields a different result. Whether you like it or not, whether it's your intention or not, whether it is your wantingness for this to happen or not happen, the proximity of something occurring, the odds and the chances of something happening are greatly exacerbated when you go to certain areas and certain things and involve yourself with certain people, places, and things, or you partake in certain people, places, and things. It just does. Again, Murphy button all over the place. We know that bad exists everywhere. Crime exists everywhere. Bad decisions exist everywhere. Doesn't matter where you find yourself on the food chain, they're there. We get it. I've seen it. Believe me, I've seen it. I've been in the highest of high places and the lowest of low places, in different facilities and different activities and different positions in my life and career. And I can tell you, it is a unilateral blanket that applies. It's about decisions. It's about making a conscious effort to avoid certain situations. And it's about knowing your own limits, knowing when it doesn't necessarily sit right with you, no matter what it is. It's okay to take a minute. It's okay to do your little inventory. It's okay to sit there and say, hey, I'm on this track right here. I'm kind of good with this. And you know what? I'll catch everybody later. Awesome. Have a good time. Or, you know what? I don't feel like going out tonight. I'd like to do this, but as much as I want to partake over here, I need to do this for me. Maybe I just need to go out by myself. Maybe I need to take a little retreat. Maybe I need to just spend the night on the couch binging a show. Maybe I just need to sleep. Maybe I need to clean my house. Maybe I need to get my planner out. To go through my calendar. Reprioritize kind of things. Maybe I need to look up that class. I can't spend that money because I got to pay this bill. Eventually, it clicks. Eventually, it's like, all right, I got it. Yep, I got it. This doesn't mean you don't have fun. This doesn't mean you don't enjoy things. This doesn't mean you don't involve yourself with anything and become a little hermit, cloistered nun monk. It just means that you're a mature individual who's making conscious decisions for the betterment of themselves and those around them. Because if you're a better position and you're a better person in a better place, you're better to those around you. And when you're in that mindset, when you're in that lane, then you can enjoy things. Like, you can legitimately enjoy things. You can be happy. And when you find that happiness and then enjoyment in and of yourself, you really hit a home run. Because then when you bring other people in, you want to share that. But again, we always mention this, right? You have no dictation or control over another person and how they choose to enjoy, share, interact a moment, a time, a place, an activity. They have their own way of doing it. So it's awesome when you get someone, something, some entity that shares a close proximity. Because, like, yeah, they're on the same page with me. Got it. Yep, they're on the same page with me. Got it. You get that gleam in your eye, that little nod, that affirmation where you don't have to say anything. You're just like, yep, they get it. Yep, they get it. But the way that they're getting is a lot different. And we have so many examples in architecture, in classical music, modern music, entertainment, medium, theater, sport, the artistry of the game, the artistry of the way that someone crafts their words, their soliloquy, their monologue, the way that they deliver the emotions. And we want to replicate that because sometimes we can't put into words, actions, or objects that which we need to express. And we hang on these mediums as our vehicle to be like, yeah, yeah, like, yep, yeah, because you can't even get the likes out of your mouth. All you want to say is like, also, yeah. Being able to articulate that, to show it, to tangibly have it, to touch it, to feel it, to taste it. It's a wild thing. So again, you're halfway through the year. Are you having those moments? Or are you having the moments that are more like, wow, could have been better. Should have done this. And this isn't a self-critical, beat yourself up, throw yourself off the proverbial metaphorical bridge, because we do not condone that behavior here. Again, serious talk for a second. There's hotlines. There are mental health programs. There are suicidal tendency resources out there. There is always someone out there, always, that cares for you, that loves you, that will miss you, that will be in your corner. We get so in our own way sometimes that we feel as if because of the things that have happened in our lives or the behaviors that we have allowed ourselves to partake in or the decisions that we made, that we're not worthy of that as individuals. And you are. You are. Believe me, you are. It's chipping through a lot of marble sometimes, or going through the lead box, Superman. But you are. You're the person with the key. You can open up the door as much as you want. Sometimes you just need to take a little bit. Sometimes you need a whole lot. Sometimes you got to give someone else the key, because you just might not be in a position to do that, and that's okay. But believe me, if you take time on the daily, weekly, and really make a conscious effort to do it. Not like, yeah, I checked in, things look good, 401k's running all right, job's okay, got 15 days left of PTO, and I got a vacation coming up, and can't wait to hit happy hour here in 2.5 hours. It's going great. Love it. Fantastic. Move on to next week, right? No, like, sit down and be like, this is my circle of friends. This is my relationship with a higher power. This relationship with myself. Am I being good to myself? Not being selfish, not being a selfish a-hole. Not being a, a stick less the ST with a D. Right? But are you being good to yourself? You treating yourself good. You're not beating yourself up over things. Every day, new opportunity. Every day, a new opportunity. With your circle of friends, you got good people around you. You being good to them. You're being good to yourself with them, and vice versa. You being a good example for them. They being a good example for you. Or maybe, just maybe, are you pulling each other in wrong directions? Right? Movable force, impenetrable object. It's not gonna happen, dude. Like, not happening. I'm not gonna change. They're not gonna change, and it's a bunch of friction. We're together. Good time, but a bunch of friction. I don't know. Maybe we've exceeded this. Maybe we need to renovate and remodel certain friend groups and certain things. It's not a sign of you being selfish. It's a sign of maturity. It's a sign of saying, like, okay, it's at this point in my life, this was really great and I loved it. We had a great time. It was a good run. We enjoyed this, and this. But right now, I'm going down this road. And you're staying here, or you're going down that road. We might meet up at the station, taking the transfer later on. Might pass each other in the TSA line. Hey, what's happening? How you doing? You see somebody on the book, on the gram, on the TikTok, whatever you guys use. Just do a quick check-in. Hey, all right, cool, yeah. You might see them over the holidays for a minute. But this constant need, this constant anchor that you may have had with certain people or groups or things, sometimes it's, you gotta put that away. Gotta put that away. Doesn't speak bad about anyone, right? It's like coaching. At some point, you exhaust where you are with coaching, and you need another voice. You have to. We got a shout out from the 203. It's T from the 203. What up, yo? What up? What up? Yes, we were talking earlier, man. Going places, doing things, different people, places, and things. It's important. It's important. Come on, man. Right? You have to do this sometimes. You need your anchors. We got that. It's your principles, your practices. You got to go to the gym. You go to the gym. You should find time to do it. Why? Because it makes me a better person. If not, I could be a real pain in the ass. Okay, so don't make a big deal of it. You just go. You just do it. But then you have these people sometimes who are just like, oh, I'm going. Listen, I know you need to say that, but remember we talked about earlier in the program, you just say these things yourself. You share it with a friend. Like, yeah, it's awesome, man. I'm getting ready to go too. Fantastic, but great news. But that's different than people who are constantly throwing every little thing that they're doing in their day for you to give them the affirmation. They need the affirmation from themselves. You have to. You have to have that affirmation from yourself. We have another shout out. 3 Levane just jumped on. Hello, Levon. Nice to see you jump in on the chat with us here. Nice little wave out to everybody. But you need to do that, right? You have certain people who are your anchors. Check in. They kind of keep you in place. They're kind of that little metronome for you, right? They're not the conductor because you're your own conductor, but they're like, first chair on the violin, first chair on the flute. They're like, hey, you missed a little bridge here. Let's run that back again. See if we can clean this up a little bit, right? And if you don't have that, you're just going to get overly self-critical. You're going to keep getting in your way. You're going to think that you're limited. You're going to think that you can't go above and beyond anything. Because you need cheerleaders, right? Your cheerleaders should be proactive cheerleaders, right? You want to move beyond the chug, 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 let's go streaking cheerleaders to the I really want to see you succeed. And you have a lot of skills and talents and abilities. And really, if there's anything that I can do to assist you in getting farther along, let me know how I can help, and then maybe we can decide how we can facilitate something like that. Yeah, like that's someone who's got your back and in your corner. Even if you just call them and they speak to you, or you listen to them, and vice versa. But you need that. You need that. But many of us, especially nowadays, because it is social media driven, because it is instantaneous driven, we rely on ourselves way, way, way too much. Way too much. And it goes down. It snowballs. The esteem. Here we go. And it stacks up and stacks up and stacks up. So finally, you're fighting to try to get out of a box that you've put yourself into, and it's going to take 10 times the work to get back up that hill. But if you get your backpack and get your little pick hook and you start climbing up the hill and climbing up the hill and climbing up the hill, yeah, a little bit of effort. Yes. Got to have the right tools around you, which are what? Your priority practices, the good people in your lives, relationship with higher power, relationship with people around you, relationship with yourself. Oh, okay. Enjoying this journey. It's nice. Oh, hey, we stopped along the way. We took in the view here. Cool. Let's keep going. The opposite, though, is true in reverse. Right? Live fast, die young. And anything that you're going to wreck on the way down, you're going to wreck on the way down. Because I don't know about you guys, but like when something falls, like it's going to hit whatever it's going to hit until it stops. Right? The law of physics, right? Energy is just transferred. That's all it does. You know, you take a box, throw it down the steps. It's going to go down all the steps. On the way, it's going to break a couple things going down. Might break what's inside too. All the more difficult then to pick back up and carry it back up the steps. But it has to be done. There's people, places, things, and resources out there for you in order to do that. You have to be willing to take advantage of it. But as we wrap up, as we come to a conclusion here on this beautiful, hot, sweltering Thursday in the Northeast, it feels like you ever just like step out of the shower or the sauna, and it's just like that whoo of humidity just puts like a blanket on you. That's sort of like what's going on, and then it gives you that little cheap like breeze because like someone from across the room, like in the other side, like opens the door to come in, not to the sauna section, but like to the locker room section, and you get like that little fake little breeze, and you're like, oh, felt so good. That's basically what's existing here in this Northeast corridor for weather right now, past couple days. So shout out, give me a little grace with that. But halfway through the year, it's June 2nd, a couple days past that. Did you make improvements? Have you been a better version of yourself? Are the things you need to course correct on? If so, take a little breath, gather yourself, make the steps, make the little adjustments. Nothing big. If it is big, reach out. But reach out to the right people. And reach out to people that are going to give you the honest, whole answers. Not, let's go tie one on and forget about the world and ignore all of our responsibilities. Right? Because then come Labor Day, you have 9 months worth of crap. Right? Just saying. We're just saying. All right, everybody, enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the NBA Finals tonight. My pick, I'm going to go the Pacers in an upset. Why not? Let's just go. Let's go Indiana. Give them a championship. For selfish reasons alone, myself and other members of the Upper Bowl podcast, hosted by Trevor Harris, we have this credo about the Oklahoma City team. While we are empathetic to Oklahoma City, we do believe that franchise does belong in Seattle. So we'll leave that as it is. And please, please, please be safe. Take a breath. Be good to yourself.